So let's say you're building your team and you're not really sure what you're looking for as far as first hire, second hire, third hire, or let's say you've already been building your teams and you haven't been satisfied with the overall outcome of results from the total package that you've put together, meaning a few people have been real excellent, few have not lived up to what they've kind of supposed to perform at. And it comes down to two or three, kind of significant, I think, in my opinion, points of where you can decide if this person's going to be a good fit before you even get to that point where you see that it was either a mistake or not a mistake. After doing it so many times, you get a little better at what you're looking for. And typically, I always say that you're going to have 20 percenters and 80 percenters. And 20% is much different than 80%. An 80 percenter typically is going to do the least amount of work and is going to always ask for more money if you ask them to do anything additional to the job description of what you originally hired them to do. A 20 percenter is going to always do what you need them to do, and most of the time you don't even ask them to do anything. They'll take initiative, they'll ask to do more, and they typically are going to be much different as far as performance goes. You're typically going to have to pay a 20 percenter much better than a 80 percenter, but typically 20 percenters are going to do 80% of the work, and sometimes it might be 75% or 65, but typically they're going to do a majority of the work here. All right, 80 percenters though are going to do a fraction of the work, and typically that's going to be 20%, but sometimes it can be, I don't know, 15. But in my opinion, you always need to have a few 80 percenters around just to fill in the gaps. All right, and that I'll go over in a different video as far as how and why you would want a team mixed with both. Some people are going to go, well, I would just want all 20 percenters. Okay, go do that. See why that may not be the best idea after you've done it. But when you want to have the ultimate coverage and not have your two hands, and that's my whole method to my madness, is not having to physically be somewhere. All right, and if you want to build systems and structures and teams, then you're going to need a majority of of people that have to build into what's available for their schedule, right? And some people don't always have availability, so that's why it's always good to have 20 percenters and 80 percenters, right? The 80 percenters come and go, but they fill in the gaps on the schedule, and the 20 percenters are consistent and long term. And that's another thing with the 20 percenter, you typically want to get them on board and have them stick around on their journey as long as you can. And if they're really good and they're hardworking, you want to kind of get them forever, right? Until they're ready to move on, if that kind of comes up. But a 20 percenter typically is going to be someone, when you look at their resume, you're not going to see them hopping around in short stints back and forth, or have 5 jobs in 2 years. All right, 80 percenters, that's what you're going to get. 80 percenters are going to milk the clock. 80 percenters are going to try to clock in early, clock in late, abuse every single thing that they can abuse. And I haven't even seen all of it, but it's just something that you have to tolerate a little bit of if you want to embrace the winning culture of 20 percenters having maximum output, and both into the business and out from the business to that individual, so that way they're happy. And then the 80 percenters are there to fill in the gaps. All right, and the 80 percenters and the 20 percenters need to get along, and the only way you're going to get them to get along is if you have systems, structure, and standards. Otherwise, it's just going to be a damn shit show. All right. And I will tell you a good example here. An 80%er is going to not want to work hard. A 20%er is going to see this and go, well, why the fuck am I going to sit there and work hard if this person doesn't work hard? You know, and it's just poison, right? And typically what you want to do is make sure the 80%ers are going to have boundaries and standards, right? And then you've got yourself set to have good outflow and good coverage, all right? Another thing that you're going to find is someone that is a 20%er versus an 80%er typically is not going to sit there and miss their interview, reschedule their interview. They're not going to show up to their interview not presentable. They also are going to have a few things that will give away that they are just not a good fit. And I'll go over that in a different video, but I think that the most important thing I want you guys to take away from this video is that in order to decide what a 20%er is and what an 80%er is, you got to be able to understand what you see from that person after, 2 weeks of working. So you know what you're wanting or what you anticipate. And if you've never had an employee, then it's tough. The only way you're going to understand what a 20%er is and what an 80%er is to hire a few people, and that way you're going to see when you have a headache, you're going to know you chose an 80%er. When you have no problems and your phone doesn't ring and the business operates by itself, you're going to know you got 20%ers that aren't wasting your time. And the more free time you have, you're going to be able to understand that the better 20%ers, you want them to stick around longer. And that's another conversation. But anyways, I hope this helps, and have an excellent day, all right?